TV is a show that helps kids and parents grow together. Let's all go together.
One of our favorite things to eat any time of the year, but especially spring and summer, are smoothies. And this is a really simple recipe that everybody likes. It has 1.5 cups of coconut water, or just plain water, or almond milk. This is about 1/4 to 1/2 cup of peanut butter, or you can use almond butter, or skip that entirely, no nuts. This is about 1.5 cups, 2 cups of packed spinach, or you can use kale. And I throw in a little bit of cilantro just for some flavor that I like. And this is frozen blueberries, 1 banana, and about 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. And we're gonna throw all of it in the blender. So it's gonna be a really fast cat's kitchen. Ready?
Yeah.
And pour that in. And then we're gonna put banana. Gabriel, you put the banana in there? No, put them in here, love. Right here.
Woo!
Woo! Okay, Rosalie, your turn. Oh, we have the chia seeds. We have the greens.
Can I put this in now?
Yep.
Thank you.
You gonna use your finger? Oh, let me get a look at.
Can I get some? Oh, yes. I want to get some out.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
So when we were filming our documentary that summer, we drove through Maine, and one of the things I wanted more than anything for the kids was that they could have an experience where they could eat as many berries as they wanted. Because here in Texas, they're really expensive. You get a container of blueberries, it's like $8 for 10 of them or something like that. And so we went and picked blueberries, and the kids ate hundreds of them. And then we had them in the car, and Dana was eating and eating and eating, and then he said, "I'm done." And I thought, yes, we did it. So that was my blueberry story. Hold on just a minute. Ready? Now we'll get some glasses.
Are you excited, Gabriel?
Keep kicking the rocks as I walk down the street. Keep feeling the rock, keep keeping the beat. I got stress on my mind, but my baby tells me all the time I'm amazing, so amazing that I keep tripping when I walk.
Hi, and welcome to Kat's Kitchen. Today we're going to be making paleo pancakes. This is how I like to start every cooking session. By lighting the candle. I think it's important to create rituals in our lives whenever possible. It brings more of the sacred into the everyday life. For our pancakes, we're going to be using 3 pretty ripe bananas, 3 eggs, and we're also putting a little bit of coconut flour. All right. So you're going to peel your bananas. So then you're going to take your eggs and your bananas. And you're going to mash them. Okay. So you can see that we're gonna add about 1/4 cup of coconut flour. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. This is about 1/2 teaspoon. Then we're gonna add a tablespoon of melted butter, or ghee if you already have ghee, or melted coconut oil. I'm gonna add another tablespoon of butter to my pan. One way to test the pan is the old spit test. So you could spit on the pan, or you could just, flick a little water. And if the water droplets kind of dance on the pan, then you know it's hot enough. If they're just sitting there, it's not hot yet. And if they evaporate instantly, it's too hot. So that's a good way to test. So this basic recipe that we learned was when we were doing our Wild Family film and we were visiting our friends Scott and Kayla Johnson in Missoula, Montana. Scott just recently opened a food trailer called Iron Cakes. So if you're in the Missoula area, you definitely want to check it out. The basic recipe is equal number of eggs to bananas. So I use 3 eggs, 3 bananas, and just go from there. Feel free to use that basic recipe or make it your own by adding coconut flour, vanilla, blueberries, whatever you want to do. These are make your own paleo pancakes. Now let's go flip these pancakes. So the brown that you're seeing here is not necessarily burning, it's more the caramelization of the bananas that makes them extra delicious. Our first batch is done. You see in the movies like these stacks of pancakes with butter dripping down them. Well, that's really beautiful, but it makes them really soggy. So you can stack them right before serving, but when you're still making them, I suggest putting them individually on the plate and then keeping them covered with a cotton towel.
It gets 1,000 stars. Here's me. Christmas.
It's gonna be Christmas soon. It's time for Kat's Kitchen again. I've missed being with you all for the past couple months, and I'm really glad to be back. Today, we're going to be making buckwheat granola. Beautiful buckwheat. Buckwheat is one of those foods that is highly underused in our culture. It's used to fill pillows, mostly. But it's gluten-free, despite the name wheat being in it, buckwheat. We're gonna make it into granola, but you could heat this up if you wanted to, which is great because it's very versatile. For today's recipe, we're going to be using 2 tablespoons of ground chia seeds, 1/2 cup of pumpkin seeds, 1/2 cup of raw sunflower seeds, some organic maple syrup, cinnamon, coconut oil, and 3 cups of our beautiful buckwheat. Okay, so we're gonna put all of the wet ingredients into a bowl. So that will be the chia seeds, which I will add enough water to cover. You're gonna wanna let that soak for 5 to 10 minutes. We've preheated our oven to 325 degrees. I'm gonna turn on the back burner. Coconut oil will become liquid. So we're just gonna heat it up just until it starts melting. Go ahead and add a tablespoon of vanilla. gonna go ahead and add it to our liquid and rub it on your hands because it's coconut oil. It's very good for your skin. I'm also gonna add the maple syrup. You can use stevia powder if you want. It will not cause a spike in your blood sugar levels, but I like the flavor and the taste of maple. But I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons. Now we're gonna add the dry ingredients into your other bowl. And you could put chopped almonds or slivered almonds. You could put dried fruit. You can make it your own. That's the cool thing. To complete our dry mixture here, we're gonna add a little sea salt, which I like to use my hand as a measure. That's about a teaspoon. I feel like it puts a little of your own magic into the food to use your hands. When it comes to flavoring your granola, so we have the salt, we have the sweet. With either of those, you can add more sweet or less sweet or change the kind of sweetener. If you like a maple flavor, which I do, you can add maple syrup, you could add agave, you could add stevia like I talked about earlier, and add more or less according to how sweet you like it. One of my favorite spices is cinnamon. I'm gonna add in the liquids. And then we're gonna get our cookie sheet that's lined with parchment paper that I've used before. I like to reuse it a few times. Ready? Here it goes. I'm gonna set the timer for 40 minutes. And we'll come check on it in a minute.
I've got to get back to the place where I feel I begun.
Today on Kat's Kitchen, we're going to be making these almond thumbprint cookies. You start with 1.5 cups of almond flour. Then we put in 1/2 cup of arrowroot starch. This is baking powder, 1 teaspoon, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then, as you know, I like to use my hands, so we're gonna mix the dry ingredients together. Make sure you get any clumps out of the flour. There, that's good. And then we have 1/3 cup of coconut oil to melt. Just takes about 1 minute. So I'm gonna add the melted coconut oil. There, get my spatula. And then I'm gonna add 1/3 cup of maple syrup, or you could use agave syrup or coconut nectar, whatever you prefer, or honey. Then I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and then I'm gonna mix it all together to form the cookie batter. You want it to be a consistent color. And you can see it's kind of formed where it pulls away from the bowl in a ball of dough. Ready. So then we have our baking pan, which is lined with parchment paper, and our oven is heated at 350 degrees. So then we start, you just pinch off a little bit of the dough, roll it in your hand, and place it on the parchment. You don't need to grease the parchment or spray it because there's enough oil in the cookies themselves that they won't stick. So now we're ready to put our personal mark on the cookies. They are called thumbprint cookies because you literally put your thumbprint in each cookie. And the point is to create a little hole, a well, where we're gonna fill with jelly. You can choose any kind of jelly that you want. My favorites to use are, this is a cherry raspberry blend. that I found at the store, and I like apricot. So then you just take a little bit of the jelly and you're gonna fill that hole there in the middle of each cookie. Now we're gonna take these cookies and put them in the oven that's heated at 350. And I'm going to set my timer for 13 minutes. These cookies are a recipe that my dear friend Brittany Kirby created on her blog, Love Joy blog. And she started this path of cooking healthy food. These are a paleo recipe with almond flour. She started this when her son was born and then diagnosed with severe food allergies. He was having a lot of physical symptoms, and they before didn't know anything about healthy eating, she and her husband, and it has, because of that circumstance, they really rose to the challenge and went beyond and began. Now Brittany is one of the most prolific, creative, paleo-friendly cooks, allergen-friendly cooks that I know. And her husband Joe also. They cook together. They were thinking about starting a restaurant. They're amazing. And so every time I make these cookies now, I think about Brittany and her love. And I love having recipes that my friends have created and that I've created. It's a fun way to share, to bring their love into my home and my body.
Today on Cat's Kitchen, we are going to be making shredded apple lemon love. I'm a very special guest, Daniel Lindsay. Step 1, you're going to take your shredder and take an apple. Sit. So step 2, you're going to take a knife and just scoop it in there. Step 3, you're going to take a squeezer and squeeze all the juice out of it. Then you're going to take your juice and pour it gently over and stir it around for about 20 seconds. When my mom started doing Cat's Kitchen, I was like, I want to do a show like that. And I thought of maybe I could do something with an apple. And I just made this thing up. And I was like, I know the name for it, Shredded Apple Lemon Love. And it goes right with the recipe. I hope you enjoy making it as much as I do. See you next time at Cat's Kitchen. Bye.